So who am I talking to?
Mike Norton.
And we're at C2E2 2026. Well, tell me about Krypto.
Well, Krypto is a miniseries we did last year, sort of kind of to tie into the new Superman movie that came out because he's a big part of that. And they came to me and said, we need to have something Krypto-ish out there, and you like dogs, draw us a dog. And that was pretty much it. Ryan North was involved, so I knew it was going to have some humor to it, but I wasn't super familiar with his work, and he really did kind of make it as heartfelt as you would expect a dog comic to be.
Yes. It did come about in part because everyone loved Krypto in the Superman movie.
Yeah, that was it was definitely a request, not a mandate, but a request that we try and steer Krypto's looks to look more like James Gunn's dog in the movie. I kind of did a mix in between. He's a little bit of the old, and just gave him a little more shagginess because that's the new guy is definitely kind of poodleish in the way that he appears. But I kept him. One of the things that I learned while I was doing is that Krypto has had a lot of different looks. Like he's never really been one breed. Mm-hmm. It just depends on what the artist drawing him at the time wants to draw.
Oh, really? Yeah. Maybe I'm just not as much of a dog person as you, although I don't know if most people are as much of a dog person as you.
Yeah, I like dogs. I can't deny it. I tried, but I can't.
Yeah. I actually haven't really noticed. I think I just noticed Krypto just looks like Krypto.
Yeah, I mean, they usually present him as like this little white lab kind of character, and that's kind of what I was used to. But as I did research, was trying to decide what my take was going to be, I noticed that he's been drawn as like a Labrador, like a lot of people, as a Great Dane, as a pit bull. Right. I've seen in some issues, and it's just very strange to see all these different. The only similar thing is that they were all white and they all had a red cape. That's right. Pretty much it. But yeah, I was like, man, those are distinctly different dogs. So I tried to make them look sort of like muddish, sort of every dog, so that people from now on will look at it and go, oh yeah, this can be whatever I want him to be. I've homogenized him a little bit.
I imagine DC approached you because you're the battle pug guy, so...
Yeah, for once, usually I get called in because somebody's dropped out or I'm replacing somebody, but yeah, this is one of those few instances where they came to me and said, hey, you're the dog guy, you want to draw a dog? You want to draw the dog? And I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds great. So Katie Coover contacted me, and then Sabrina Fachu was the editor on the book. Very good at what she does, and she loves this dog so much. She probably the biggest fan of the book is the editor, so yeah, it was a real nice experience.
So the first issue played with the medium in terms of the lettering.
Yeah.
The lettering would be softer whenever it's not saying something like good dog or Krypto's name.
Yeah.
It's things that Krypto would pay attention to.
Yeah.
Although that was dropped in the following issues.
Yeah.
Why was that?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. I think most of it must be because there's just not as much dialogue in the rest of the series. We kind of made it Krypto's book after that. We had to have the environment, and so we wanted, Jor-El and Lara to be there, but it was important to Ryan because they went back and forth, Ryan with the editors, about how we wanted Krypto to be seen as interpreting the world. And it was very important that he not have his own dialogue because he has in the past. And we didn't want him to talk like a normal person because it's not dog-like. It's just like having another human character. And we wanted his interface with the world to be like a dog. He responds when you talk directly to him, and he responds to certain words. So those are obviously the words that he understands. It's like when my wife tells me when I talk to my cats, they don't know English. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess so. They just know certain things. And that's kind of what Krypto is. He knows things that Jor-El has taught him. We wanted them to talk to him so that you as the reader know being said, but we also wanted to show that Krypto doesn't care about anything unless what you're directly saying to him that he thinks is important. Later on in the issues, it becomes much more of Krypto's story, and so the need for words doesn't really enter it until he meets other people. Those people have to say things, and so that becomes important only to the reader. Krypto is learning like the reader is during the series. He's learning about himself. He's learning how to talk to humans. He's learning that he has powers, because he doesn't even understand that until the third issue.
Right.
And it's like a lot like Superman was.
Or did he not? So like there was...
So when he saved, well, not to spoil, but when he saves the little girl, he's just trying to save her. He doesn't know that he has these abilities.
Right.
It's when he's sitting there and he thinks it's like all is lost, but he's sitting there in the sun, and the sun is like charging him up. And then he realizes, oh, I wasn't able to do this yesterday.
Right.
And so the whole series is about Krypto. He's trying to find Kal-El, but he finds out who he is, during the whole story, which is kind of corny to say, but yeah, that's what it is.
Every issue is a different stage in like where he is and what he's looking for.
Yeah, it's him learning about us.
Yeah.
And you can see that clearly in every issue. Like, he learns about how this is not a friendly planet in the second issue. He learns about how lonely it can be in the third issue. He learns about how harsh it can be in the fourth issue. And then he learns he's rewarded for sticking through everything in the fifth issue.
The fourth issue made me cry, and
made me cry while I was drawing it.
Right.
It was awful to draw. I had to ask the editors several times because I didn't believe them when they said, yes, you can draw this in the comic book. I was for sure that somebody higher up would see it and go, no, you cannot sell this to kids.
Right.
But yeah, they let it through. They just put a warning in the book, and I appreciate it for that.
Yeah, and this isn't the exact moment that made me cry, but I do also like the panel in the fourth issue where you see him and his other dog friend jumping together at Brainiac.
Because yes,
and they're like this drawing the same.
He's learned that issue is it's important because he learns that he can make friends because he makes friends, but then he realizes how fragile life is here,
right?
Because he's never known that before. Yeah. He's only known happiness on Krypton.
And then he realizes, okay, he can't just find someone, can't just find anyone, i.e. Lex Luthor. He can't just find a fellow lost person, and he can't even just find a fellow dog. He has to find someone who is like him.
He understands that he is here to protect, and he learns that the hard way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever read the Rocket Raccoon miniseries.
Oh yeah, the old one, the Bill Mantlo one, or the new one?
The new one.
Yeah.
From the early 2010s, around the time Guardians of the Galaxy came out.
Is that the one they drew a lot of influence on for the movie?
Well, it came out after the first one, but so I think it took influence from the movie.
Yeah.
The reason why I bring it up is because it was also a miniseries about belonging.
Yeah.
Starring a cute animal.
Well, the thing is, like, there are not a lot of animal movies you can watch where you're not crying at the end. They get to our emotions more than anything in this world. And so when you tell a story through that lens, it hits you more than like a regular, you're going to get the point of that story more than like it's like a Pixar movie, You're always bawling at the end of a Pixar movie, and it's because they know how to get that idea into your brain.
Right.
And it's almost insidious because they know that it's like, this is important because we got into your heart.
Right. How much was the script hands-off? How much was Ryan North?
Ryan North was very good at describing, like the first issue is very much a setup, and he had a lot of dialogue in it, but he laid off. He described everything that you see, but he really depended on me to express that using only a dog's facial expressions, which can be very difficult.
Yeah.
He didn't just leave me in the dark and say, hey, you draw this. He described everything that happens, and it was very cinematic the way he did it. So it wasn't hard to do at all. But yes, conveying whole swaths of story with just a dog not saying anything can be challenging. I hope I was able to do it.
Also, there was superheroics in every issue too.
Yeah. Well, he's a superhero. I mean, we had to do that. I mean, otherwise you're just watching Homeward Bound.
Right.
You know.
So Brainiac has met Krypto before he's met Superman?
Yeah, I always find that it's funny when they retrofit stuff like that. I don't always like that, but I kind of, Brainiac doesn't think of himself in a binary term, so he's been lots of different things, different places. So yeah. It's not all the same thing to him. So yeah, this was a version of Brainiac. Yeah.
The first issue very much seems to lean into the climate change allegory as far as Krypton explodes.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I mean it makes sense. I mean, what is the scientist living today that is most not listened to, right? I mean, even the 70s movie was basically that. He's like, hey, your planet's about to be destroyed. Right. You better do something about it. That's the whole point of Superman. It's like, when you think about it, he was the climate change guy in all of them. He was like, your planet is going to explode. It's going to die if you don't do something. Yeah. That's all that climate change people are tell you. It's like, hey, take care of the planet, yes. Or it's gonna kick you off.
I thought the name Krypto was kind of just Silver Age weirdness.
Right.
And it is, but it wasn't until I read this miniseries I realized actually it makes sense that a scientist would name their dog.
Well, I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out. So I don't know if that was Ryan's intention, but yeah, it does make sense when your astronomer has a dog. Well, yeah. Astrophysicists would name their dog like Gemini or something like that. Right. Yeah, it's corny, but also people are corny.
Let's talk about Lil Donnie.
What's that?
Let's talk about Lil Donnie, your political
okay.
So where is Lil Donnie? You never brought it back?
I never brought it. So when I started Lil Donnie, back during the first time, I was full of furious rage. Not that I'm not now, but I was definitely more of I have to find a way to express this and show my point in all of this.
Yeah.
And then once I thought it was over, I mean, I didn't make it through the whole presidency. I stopped because after a while it became too much of a grind, and I was like, I have a job. I have to draw other comic books. This guy, I don't want him to beat me.
Well, it was 3 times a week you drew it?
I drew it 3 times a week, and often I would draw the same strip over because he would do something that day that, right. Like, I would like, well, I got to draw something about this instead. So I realized after the first volume that I was like, this guy is beating me. Yeah. I don't like that. So I just decided to ignore him.
Right.
And once he was gone, I was like, well, that's it. And now he's come back, and there's something different about it now. I know so many more people that are affected more this time than the first time.
And yet there's less art about it now. And that's
because
kind of what I'm asking.
I watched a thing with Conan O'Brien who really put it succinctly. And he's like, the reason he doesn't do jokes about Trump is because it's not funny.
Right.
He can't find humor in it. Everything he does is a parody of a parody. And it's like, you can't make something funny out of something that is so absurd that is actually happening.
Right.
You can parody it, but it's not funny because it's literally what's happening.
Right.
And so I reached that point too, where it's like, I don't find anything cathartic about it. It only makes me angry. I don't think it's helping other people, and it's definitely not helping me. It started a very serious, deep depression that I'm just now crawling out of. And like I said before, I don't like that this guy, who should be at the bottom of a pit somewhere, is getting one over on me. And so I'm just leaving it alone until I let nature take its course and we can all have a parade. As they say, the best revenge is living well. And I'm going to try and do what I can for other people, but my initial strategy turned out to be not very good. And I think the less we think about him, the less we can think about, because there's some things we just can't ignore, the better we are.
that makes sense. And in fairness to your comic, something that made it stand out was the way you drew different members of the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Like Kellyanne Conway as a ghost.
That was the part that I had fun with because that's using my skills. You know, Mitch McConnell reminded me of a dried apple doll that they make in East Tennessee. And I was like, well, that's where he's from. He totally would be a haunted dried apple doll. And I was like, so I tried to make these obscure references that I hope people got, but if they didn't, I didn't care, you know? And so that was the part that kept me sane, but eventually it was just too much all the time. And that part was the part I enjoyed, was exercising that muscle.
Yeah, and that was kind of the best part. That's what makes it stand out.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm glad you say that. Yeah, because I mean, not a lot of people are putting like the musician Steve Miller in their Trump parodies, and I'm like, that makes me laugh. I don't know if it makes anybody else laugh, but it makes me laugh, and I need to laugh.
Yeah. So why do you enjoy comics? Why do you love comics?
So the milestones in my early life were cartoons, Star Wars, and the comic books my dad would bring home on his way home from work every day. He would stop at a gas station back when they had comic books at a gas station, and he'd bring me home Spider-Man comics. And I was like, there's nothing better in the world than being able to see a story like this. And when you're a young kid and you're learning how to read, you feel like you're figuring something out. And that's so personal that you know that other people are doing this, but it feels like only I know about this. Even though this is a 1 million copy published book that other people are buying, you're like, this is my thing. And so when it's such an intimate relationship, of course you want that to go on forever. And from an early age, that was the only thing I wanted to do, was to be able to talk to other people that way. And I don't know, I feel like I may have done that, but at this point it doesn't matter. All I want to do is this anyway. It's in my programming now. And so I just do it for me. And so that's all I care about, is telling stories this way. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. It's the only thing I ever want to do. And it's like breathing at this point.
So we're at C2 2026. How are you feeling right now?
You know, a lot better than I did this time last year here. Last year I was full of a lot of anxiety, and not that I'm not now, but there's something comfortable about this year so far, and I couldn't describe to you what it is, but I'm glad to be here right now.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you. I'm glad we actually did this.